Hello and welcome to Rock Your Block. I'm your host and producer, Tia Young. Our special guest today is the founder of Teachers Fest, a nonprofit organization which celebrates and recognizes the hard work and outstanding achievements of educators in the United States and internationally. Our guest is a Howard University graduate and a minority business owner. She has over 27 years of experience in education as a grade school teacher, a professor, and a school psychologist. As the founder of Teachers Fest, our guest has organized a support team made up of a wide range of conference and program advisors who are among the most experienced people from prestigious organizations, including K-12 schools, colleges, universities, online programs, and teachers' unions throughout the field of education. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Soyini Richards to Rock Your Block. Dr. Richards, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time out to share with us today.
I'm super happy to be here.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to get started. We have a lot to cover, so we're going to get started.
Great.
Tell us a little bit about your history in education.
Well, I have a very long history of education. I could actually say from when I was 8. I'm a third generation educator, and I've been grading papers since I was 8.
Wow. That's
My mother was a professor, and she would have me grade papers for her, have a key there, and I was grading papers.
At 8?
At 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
At 8 years old, and I'm still grading papers. But for the last 27 years, I've been in education with some capacity or another, grade school teacher, school psychologist, as well as a professor and administrator.
Okay. And you mentioned that you are also a business psychologist. What does a business psychologist do?
Well, I have a master's in counseling psychology and a PhD in business psychology. And business psychology is the study of behavior, like other psychology in general, but our focus is pertaining to businesses and organizational development and workplace matters.
Okay, so if I'm say a new startup business and I need somebody to come in, what would you do? How would you?
Oh, I could assist you with everything from achieving your goals and as well as helping building your brand.
Oh, okay, good. That's great. What is the Teachers Fest and why did you create it?
Well, last year, my daughter and I were sitting at her dining room table, and we're both in education. Like I said, I'm a third generation educator, but also my family's full of educators. My daughter, my sister, my brother, and we're always talking about the classroom, our students and experiences. And we recall how teachers are underappreciated, underpaid, and deserve some appreciation. So that's how Teachers Fest got started. We thought about an event strictly and for teachers only.
Right, and I'm looking at you as you're saying you and your daughter were sitting at your table. Now I'm thinking you probably got a little daughter about 7 or 8 years old. So is your daughter older than 7 or 8?
She is. She is
Wow.
married with 4 children and
my
4
goodness.
boys at that. I'm a proud grandmother.
Wow, you got great genes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have associates that work with you, or administrators, or how do you put this together?
Oh,
Who
I
helps
have
you?
a team of wonderful people from education to communications and production. To put on this caliber of a program, I do need a great team. But primarily, we have a lot of advisors from the field of education.
Okay, so the advisors are from the field of education.
Primarily, yes.
Let me ask you, at your Teachers Fest, can other people come, or is it just primarily for teachers?
Great question. It is catered to educators from pre-K to graduate school. But we are inviting spectators and supporters to help cheer us on. Initially, I have to tell you, last year, we planned to be on ground live for 3 days, a whole weekend in DC at the Washington Convention Center.
Okay.
But the pandemic had a different story. We had to postpone it like a lot of other events.
Oh, wow.
And
you didn't get to have it at all?
No, not at all. We planned for a summer event, 3 days. We had it booked, vendors and activities. If I can tell you for a few minutes what that was going to look like, because this is what we're going to do next year.
Yeah.
We rented the DC Convention Center for 3 days, and Friday night, the registrants would come, they would get their swag bag and the registration material, come back. after they go to the hotel and get settled, go around DC, get some perks because they have their badges, and they come in for a concert and a pep rally.
Wow.
And then Saturday and Sunday all day we would have an expo with vendors and activities, Zumba, yoga, batting cages, and different activities like massages and makeovers, and guest speakers would come in and inspire the attendees all day.
Oh, wow.
And then Saturday night, a teacher's ball, where they would get dressed up and celebrate their great year.
Oh, no.
Sunday morning, an inspirational moment, along with the expo going on, and then we wrap up Sunday afternoon.
So let me get this straight. You had planned all of this to
Yes.
occur last year, and it didn't. This may be a really dumb question.
Uh-oh.
And you don't have to answer it if you can't.
Okay.
But did you have to pay back all the proceeds? And I mean, what kind of
you know,
administrative nightmare was
Thank
it?
God I'm a business psychologist. Yes, definitely had to regroup. And we had a lot of gracious supporters who were willing to stick around and say they're going to be with us year after year. And they're helping us this year with the virtual event. But the other people who weren't so gracious, and they were going through hard times too because of the pandemic, we had to give them back their money.
So I guess
And
the
we
one
lost money,
good
too.
thing is that you had a template. You have a template already ready that you could
We are
follow
ready.
from.
We are ready for 2022, and during our
Yeah.
virtual event this year, we're going to share what 2022 is going to look like here in DC. And we also have a sponsor who's giving away a hotel weekend to one of the teachers who register, so they can come next year.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds great. I think we covered this a little bit, but if you could go a little deeper into it, who can attend the teachers' event? Can
Well,
you be a little bit more specific?
Sure. This year for the virtual event, registrants can be educators from pre-K to graduate school, and they will qualify for all the perks, the giveaways, and the prizes that we will have during the event.
Okay.
And also, we have what we're calling a spectator, non-educator ticket, where they can come and celebrate the teachers, enjoy the festivities, and participate in the program.
Okay.
But they will not get the giveaways and
Right.
perks.
But they don't take a part of the giveaways. It's just
No,
because
they're there to-
you're celebrating the teachers.
Yes, but
Educators.
but I think it's a testimony of their dedication to education and teachers to attend the event. We're going to have a live chat during the virtual event so people can engage. And we're anticipating that's going to be very exciting. It's going to be exciting to see the teachers receive the prizes and the giveaways. We have phenomenal makeovers that will go on through the event. We have a celebrity makeup artist who will be, actually 2 celebrity makeup artists who will be performing a makeover on a teacher, a registered teacher. And one makeover is going to be head to toe, in and out. We're calling it internal, external, extreme makeover. They're going to have makeup, hair, and also dress, style makeover. So it's going to be quite an experience.
And so I'm pretty sure Howard University is involved in this as well.
Howard
since that's-
alumni are involved. Howard
They're-
alumni are involved.
They're involved. That's what I
Yes.
thought.
Yes.
Now, your website, had a chance to kind of go over that, not in detail, but a little bit. And what caught my eye was that there was a comment about the Teachers Fest had been getting increased international attention. Can you speak a little bit about the international
I sure can.
part of it?
One of the makeovers is going to be conducted by a makeup artist, celebrity makeup artist again, in Dubai. And the teacher lives in Dubai. So that's an awesome experience. The time is going to be a little different because Teachers Fest is going to be on June 26th at 7 p.m. We're kicking off at 6:30 with the pre-game, what we're calling a pre-game, pre-show at 6:30, and then we'll get started at 7. But the Dubai makeover will be going on June 26th.
So are you getting other people from out of the United States that are
Yes,
coming?
we have registrants from the Caribbean
Okay.
and Asia as well.
Oh, Asia, all right, good. That sounds good. Now, let's talk about some of the speakers. How many speakers are you having, and can you tell us about the backgrounds of some of the speakers?
Sure. We have quite a few different speakers. Of course, we have teachers who will be sharing their story and inspiring their colleagues. and motivating them, because morale is a big thing right now. Teachers are going through a lot. And we also have some students who want to share their appreciation to teachers. And then we have some special guests who are in different fields who want to inspire and encourage self-care. For instance, we have a celebrity chef from the Food Network TV series Chopped. He will be sharing some tips and some healthy food ideas. We also have comedian actor Guy Torrey. We have retired all-star NBA Hall of Famer. We have quite a few different people from different industries who just want to show their appreciation for teachers and education.
Right. You mentioned students, you have students. So when you say students, are these students who are studying to be teachers, or they're just students that are just coming to share and
I'm glad you brought that up. We're also appealing to education students to register and participate. Education students and retirees attend Teachers Fest for free, and we do have some who will be speaking, but also some very young students who are sharing their experience all the way to college students.
Oh, when you say young students, how
Children.
Young? Yeah, how
children
young?
who
and
are
so
going to
what do they get a chance to get up?
They're going to have.
Are they going to speak?
Yes, and
Oh,
share their expression of gratitude for their teachers.
Oh,
this event is a really
that's
good,
nice.
feel-good
Yeah, it's
event.
like a heart
Celebratory.
thing.
It is. It is.
It's like a heart thing.
We're hoping that people leave the event, teachers as well as our guests, feeling good about this school year.
You said something that caught my attention just a few minutes ago. You said the morale of teachers are very low. Can you talk a little bit about that? And I'm pretty sure that's because of the pandemic and all the things that we're going. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the pandemic definitely put a toll on education, period, from the perspective of the student as well as the teacher. I was teaching right in the midst of the pandemic as well too. I teach on the college level, and my students were a little disgruntled pertaining to paying for college tuition and having to go online. But I encouraged them and emphasized that we're here because of safety issues and we're all in this together. And we got past it. But I myself had to encourage myself and revamp. I'm a lecturer. That's my style. And I had to totally change and conform to address the online atmosphere.
What kind of things do you think, and you might want to bring this up about yourself, what kind of things do you do to keep yourself, you know, at a level where you are able to give to others who are depressed and having emotional problems?
Yeah, well, that's actually my passion and my nature. I think that's why I got into the field of psychology. I like to help uplift, motivate people, and actually my bio on Psychology Today says I help people get unstuck. That's what I enjoy doing.
Because grief is not easy, and I imagine a lot of those students lost loved ones during COVID, and maybe even some of them.
Yes, there's very few people who say they weren't impacted by COVID somehow. And I did have student after student who would tell me different stories from friends, family members, neighbors who they lost. And then also they lost experiences, no proms, no graduations. Life was very different, and suddenly my exchange students had to go home immediately, leave the country. Various things happened over that period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I found myself just diving in to help out others. It helped me get off what I was experiencing and focus on other people.
What will be some of the topics that will be discussed by your speakers?
We're going to talk about next year's event in DC, highlight what DC has to offer and what Teachers Fest 2022 will offer. We're also going to have a health section where we'll talk about health issues, and we'll have yoga demonstrations, and also we have a doctor who's going to talk to us about foot care, because teachers stand on their feet for a long time. And again, we're, as I mentioned earlier, food segment. and the makeovers. I can't emphasize that enough. Teachers just need a moment to feel like the queen and kings they are. And we're going to give some tips on style and makeup, and that's going to be important. We're also going to hear from the National Teacher of the Year. She lives in Vegas. She just was awarded National Teacher of the Year for 2022, as well as DC's DC's Teacher of the Year.
You know, you talked a little earlier about the gifts and the prizes, and my thought was, okay, I wonder, door prizes, anybody comes in, you pick a lucky number, and I'm thinking, no, that's probably not what it's like. So can you talk a little bit about the prizes? How are they awarded, or why are they awarded? Did somebody do something special, you know, to get a special type of award?
Great question. I'm so glad you asked. We couldn't have a celebration without prizes and giveaways and gifts. So our sponsors and partners have graciously given gift cards, books, jewelry, cash prizes, and as I mentioned earlier, the trip to DC next year. So we have various gifts that we're going to give away on June 26th. And prior to that, registrants are getting emails with discount cards and different perks as well too.
Okay. So is there something that the teachers have to do in order to be awarded a prize, or is that nobody knows what that is until?
They have to register. They go to teachersfest.com and they register for the June 26th event.
Okay.
And once they're a registrant, they qualify and are in the raffle. We have an online raffle that we use, and it's similar to something in person that scrambles the names, and that's how the names are determined.
Right. Tell us again, you just mentioned, but tell us again how, if anyone is interested in attending or if they have questions, how shall they contact you?
Teachersfest.com. Online, we're Teachers Fest. On all the social media sites, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You go to teachersfest.com, also LinkedIn, and you can register. It's a really easy process. We do ask some questions, and we do have some disclaimers because we're giving prizes away.
Okay. So for this year's Teachers Fest, what is the goal that you want to accomplish?
Well, this is our inaugural year, and we want to keep it very extravagant for people. So we are giving away, I did not even mention, 10 laptops. Wow. We're giving away $1,000 to one registrant. Again, the Washington, D.C. hotel stay next year, and jewelry from Kendra Scott. We have some gift cards to give away as well too from Hair Cuttery, and every day we're getting more and more sponsors who want to give to teachers. We want the experience to be rewarding. We want teachers to feel appreciated and celebrated.
Will some of your speakers talk about like the mental depression and, you know, what teachers, if I come there and I'm just barely got there because I'm so depressed and just feeling bad, what will I hear that will cause me to leave there with more of a bounce in my step?
You know, surprisingly enough, and because psychology and mental health is my field, I used a roundabout way to address it through the production of our June 26th program. We're looking at the brighter side. We're looking at life being grand. We're celebrating teachers and sharing inspirational stories. We're not honing in too much on the negative at all. But we do have a mental health organization who is a major sponsor out of California who's going to give specific guidelines and recommendations about their program offering mental health services for students in the classroom, because that's a very big issue these days as well too.
So it's not so much, it's more of a coming in, letting your hair down, having fun. You know, just
it is.
being
We're even
excited.
having an after party, online after party.
Okay, all right. What do you predict about the future of education, given where we are right now and moving forward? What do you predict?
I really don't think we'll ever be the same. A lot of schools are going into hybrid mode where they're having a combination of online and in person. We really are changing as a society, and we're recognizing that we don't necessarily have to have in-person contact and events and procedures like we used to have. So I think education is also going to move with that.
You find that, you think that's a good thing, or you think that's,
Yeah, change always comes with good and bad.
yeah,
And I'm optimistic that teachers and students, because young people and teachers are very resilient, we're gonna make it through this, and we're gonna move with the flow and end up on top.
right. I know for me personally, I've been concerned about the college level students and, you know, what they're going through. And some of them ended up having to go home. I'm wondering, did they come back?
Right.
Do they come back? When they come back, do you see a difference?
Well, most campuses are catering to the new students staying on campus, the freshmen and the lower classmen. And I think that's important so they can have an experience, if they choose to, have a campus experience. And some students aren't coming back, they're choosing not to come back. Everyone is really finding their peace and their comfort level. So we'll see how that develops. And schools are conforming really nicely to give
That's
choices to students.
Well, that's good choices, that they have choices
Right.
that they can make. How can people support the festival?
Really register. I think it'll be so encouraging to see high numbers show up to say, we appreciate you, teachers. I think if teachers see that there's businesses who are giving to them, that there are people who are who want to attend and watch them get recognized and honored, that will show that they're appreciated. They've been underpaid, underappreciated for so long. During the June 26th show, we show a segment on the apple. The apple used to be a gift that people gave the teacher and put it on her desk, right? And that just goes to show that we've always appreciated teachers. We try to give them something, but now let's give a little more. I can't wait to see who that teacher will be that gets that $1,000.
That'd be nice.
And what that can do and change her world and life. She'll probably use it in her classroom and with her students, but I just think just encouraging and being there.
It's interesting that you said that about the classroom. I spoke with a teacher maybe about 3 months ago, and she was telling me that the teachers are actually pooling their monies together to buy school supplies. They're buying school supplies and lunch money and all of that, and I was just like, what? You know, I was coming up, when I was coming up, you never, I mean, it was always supplies and everything available that you needed.
You would be surprised, that's not true. Teachers usually find ways and are very creative and very resilient and work around it. I had the experience of being a teacher in grade school, high school, all the way to college. I would have to find things in my home if there wasn't a budget for it. We'll make a way out of no way.
Right.
And actually, we're going to have a segment on finance.
Oh, good.
We have
That's good.
a very dear friend of mine who's very experienced in the field of finance. Her name is Shirley Liu. Shirley Liu and Associates have donated a great deal to Teachers Fest, and we're very happy.
Shirley, I know Shirley. Yep, she is good
she's
with that.
well known in the finance community, and she's going to talk to the teachers about taking care of their finances.
That's good.
And it's a very important topic.
That's great. That is good. Where do you want to hold the Teachers Fest in the next 5 years?
We are seriously looking at being in DC and having this be our home year after year.
Okay.
The team of advisors that I have, that's what we're seriously looking at.
That's good. Well, we have a couple of minutes left, and I know we've touched a little bit on the pandemic, but I guess you can tell that's something really in my heart and what's happening with people and with children and families. And, you know, can you share a word of encouragement to those teachers across the world who have worked so hard during the pandemic? Some of them are being criticized and misunderstood. I think we sometimes forget that they have families and they're human just like the rest of us, with good and bad days. And they're not just wooden, uncaring ABC blocks. What words, what caring words could you say, encouraging words could you say?
I would encourage them to remember their passion. Remember why they chose the field or why that door opened up for them. And to believe that passion will uphold them and keep them where they are. And not every day will not be easy, but remember that passion. That passion will get them up in the mornings. That passion will radiate to their students and make a difference.
Dr. Richards, it's been a pleasure. You are invited back anytime to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to share with us today.
Thank you for listening.
Appreciate it. Thank you for watching Rock Your Block with our special guest, Dr. Soyini Richards, founder of Teachers Fest. If you have questions about Teachers Fest, Dr. Richards' information is scrolling on your television screen. Please join us next week for another great show. Stay safe and be happy. Bye.